Hello everyone, this is lesson 8 and the RGB LED practice. This is a continuation of last time's course on the RGB LED, and this time we are going to actually build circuits and light up the LED with our board. So the first thing we are going to do is create single LED pin change. So right now we have our board and our breadboard, and then this is the RGB LED. As you can see, one of the pins is longer than the rest. This is the cathode, and then the other pins, this one controls the red LED, this one controls the green LED, and this one controls the blue LED. So let's put this onto our breadboard. Let's put it here. Make sure one pin goes into one hole. Don't put two pins into the same hole. Alright, and then we can get a black wire, jumper wire, to show that this is the cathode end. It was this one. And then we can connect this into the ground like this. And then from last class, we cannot forget to put on a resistor. And this resistor is going to go on like this. This is a 220 resistor, 220 ohm, like this. Alright, and then we can connect a jumper wire onto here. Let's say PWM 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this one. So like this. This is a really simple circuit right now. We go from the positive or the third digital pin through here, through the resistor, into the LED here, and then goes back to the ground. And then from this, we can create some code. So let's open our Arduino IDE. And let's close this for a sec. Okay, let's create a new sketch. Alright, so we put this onto pin 3. So let's set up pin 3. Pin mode, number 3, output. And then we can create a line. Let's say first, let's make sure it's turned off, and then, or we can turn it on right now. We can do, let's say 255 is the maximum. So we can connect our Arduino and try this. So COM7, and then let's upload our code. Alright, and then as you can see, the red LED is lit up. Alright, next we can unplug this and we can move the power to, let's say, the green pin, so we can see if the green LED is working. So the green LED is this one, like this, and then we can connect this here, and then we plug it in again. So now the green LED is also lit up. Nice. Next, let's try the blue LED. So take out the resistor and move it to the blue LED like this. Let's try it. And now the vibrant blue light is lit up. Okay, so now that we know every single LED color inside this RGB LED works, let's make our code a little more interesting. Let's make the LED slowly turn on and then slowly turn off. Slowly turn on and then slowly turn off. So we can do that by, in here, we can, let's say, make a for loop. Integer I equals 0. While I is less than 225, we iterate, and then analog write 3i, and then let's give it a delay, so let it wait for a little. So like this. Let's try this. This should, see, so now it's slowly turning brighter and brighter. And then also at the end, when the value is so high, the camera can't see the difference between the brightness. So we can try to make this code better by having this, let's say 127 instead. Let's try this. Oh, I forgot the other end of the loop. So we can make another loop. (126 minus I) and then delay 100 milliseconds like this. Alright, now let's try this code. So it's slowly turning brighter and brighter. And then it'll slowly turn less bright, dimmer, anytime now. Yeah, and now it's slowly turning dimmer. Then almost completely turns off. Now it turns on again, like this. Alright. Now we can, let's keep this here. Now we can try the other two LEDs. So let's move the resistor back. Like this. Alright, now let's try the green one. Alright. It's turning brighter. And then slowly it's going to turn dimmer now. Yeah, now it's almost completely gone. Alright, now let's try the last one, the red one. So here, like so, and move this here. Alright, now it slowly turns brighter. I think the red one is the most obvious, and it turns the brightest at the end, like this. Really bright red. It doesn't look so bright in real life. This is the camera lens making it look so bright. And it becomes dimmer and turns on again. Alright, so this is the code for a single LED pin changing. So let's include this code in here. like this. So if you want to try it later on, you can try it without having to type all of this again. So after single LED, we can try double LED pin change. So now 2 LEDs change at the same time and it'll look kind of cooler. So alright, let's first connect another wire and resistor on here. So let's go for blue let's go for green first. Kind of bent. Alright. So green is this one. Let's connect it here. Alright. And then the blue one. Let's just connect all 3 first. And then we can just change which pin we are inputting in later on. It's like this. And then for green, we can use a green jumper wire. It's more easily visualized. Let's connect this onto 5. That's a little too smooth this out one. So it's easier to reach, like this. Alright, and then lastly, our blue jumper wire, the blue one for the blue LED. Let's put this one in as well. Okay, so now that our circuit looks like this, so the blue LED's power goes through the blue jumper wire and then through this resistor and comes in here, goes out through the cathode and goes into the ground. Same for the green, it goes through the green jumper wire, resistor, LED, and ground. And for the red one, red, resistor, LED, and then ground. Okay, so now we need to change our code a little. So we can define the pins. So let's say red is pin 3. That's what we put in. And then we put the green jumper into pin 5 because we skipped number 4 because it's not a PWM, and so it can only output a low frequency or high frequency, and that doesn't really work in our experiment. So 5 and 6, and blue is pin number 6, and then pin mode, we can just initialize all of these, and then we just and then we only use out the ones that we need to use. So let's copy this 3 times. So red, green, and blue. Alright, now in our code, let's do red and green first. So as one goes up, the other has to go down, or else all that's changing is the shade of the color, but the color itself is not changing. We can do, let's say green first. Green, and then 126 minus I. Here we can do green, and then I. Forget to change this into red. So defining them at the start makes it so that it's easier to see which pin we're using. And at the end, we might need to be using a lot more pins, so it's easier to understand the logic of our code. So let's upload this, connect our board first, and then upload. Alright, now let's watch the magic happen. So at the start, it's blue, and then the blue slowly fades into a kind of purplish color. All right. Maybe it'll be easier to see like this. Now it's turning into a purplish color. Wait, why is it blue? Let's see. So red. Oh, so at the start, we need to make sure that these are all 0, or else this will not work. My mistake. All right, now it should start with one color. So now it's green at the start, and it should slowly fade into a red, because over here we've been using green and red. And now it's a greenish color. This is too bright for the camera. Let's tone down all the numbers. Let's do 63. And then this is 62, 63, 62. Okay. This should be a little better. Yeah, so the start it's green. It fades to red, goes back to green. Yeah, I guess this is a little better for the camera. You can see the colors shifting. All right. So after we do red and green, we can change green into blue easily like this. And then it should go from blue slowly into a magenta purplish color, and then goes into red, goes back to magenta, goes to a blue color. You can kind of see the colors better over here on the table. Yeah. All right. Now let's try green and blue. So in the middle, it should create a yellowish color like this. Starts with a blue, turns lighter till it's yellowish, turns green. All right. I think it looks better with 127 instead. For the human eyes and you guys, I'll change this back when I put the code back on, because it looks better this way. All right. So double LED. I forgot to make sure this was a heading, so it's easier to access over here. Okay, and after this we have the random color LED. So because 3 colors at the same time is kind of hard to do in a loop, I'll just make an extra button, and then every single time you press the button, the 3 colors randomly generate a new one. So every single time you press the button, a new color will show up in the LED. Alright, so let's change the circuit first. Make sure to unplug for safety, and don't burn the CPU and everything. And then on this side, we can add a button that looks like this. Button looks like this. And then let's add it over here on the side. Alright. It's split by the canal in the middle. And then I don't know if I've taught how to make button circuits yet, but make sure to have a pull-up resistor like this one, and this is 10K, 10,000, and then we can have a positive. So from here, and then this goes into the 5 volts, and then we have a negative end. So negative end is black. This one can go into the other ground beside this one. It's really convenient that the Uno board has 2 grounds. And then this is our indicator to see if the button is pressed or not. And we can connect this onto, let's say, pin number 2. So over here. You don't need to understand the circuit for the button. I go over it in another lesson later on. So, but this is kind of cool to know. All right. And then, so let's write our code now. We need to add another pin. So let's call this one button on pin 2. On pin 2, and then make sure we write a mode button. Button is input like this, and then we don't need this anymore because we're using random numbers. Now we do an if statement. We go if digital read switch equals 0. So if it's false, which means like this is pressed, we do integer. Let's define a random red color, and I don't think we've taught the random function yet. So this just means a random number between 0 and 255. We can also write it like this, but it doesn't matter either way. The default is 0. And then we have a integer green, RGB. We need one for each different one. So this is random, and this is blue. Random 255, oops, like this, and then analog right, red R, analog right, green G, analog right, blue B. Alright, and then this part is part of the function for the algorithm, if you will, for button. We are including this because the user might be holding down the button, and this line in the middle just waits until he lets go and continues on. And then this is because when you're pressing the button, there's some micro vibrations that makes the connection of the button slightly unstable. It only lasts for about 10 milliseconds, and the delay perfectly gets rid of the inconsistencies. So in the loop, this means if the button is pressed, then we generate 3 random numbers for red, green, and blue. 3 random numbers, and then we write the numbers onto our LED, and we give it the amount of energy that we generated here. So let's connect our board again, and then upload our code. Oops, what happened here? Oh, the variable I used was button, not switch. because switch is a variable that it uses by itself. So now, right now we can see our code. At the beginning, everything is turned off. We can press this, and a purplish light comes on, and then we press it again, a cyan light, and we can keep pressing it, and then there are random colors being generated. Some of these colors look pretty cool, like that. Alright, so these are some, oh, I forgot to include our code on here. Let's do this. So here. Alright, and then for the homework for today is to create a circuit and make it display your favorite color, and take a picture and send it to me. Favorite, create and display your favorite color using a RGB LED. Alright, and you can do it through controlling the variables. You don't need a loop, just go into the setup and change the values here. This is the basic RGB, so any value between 0 and 255. Yeah, alright, thank you for watching and see you next lesson.